Mic check 1 2 1 2. What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Tank be chopping, and I'm back with another haircut tutorial. So what we doing on this cut is we going for like a messy crop top type style. So we're gonna be trimming the top down with some shears, doing some shear work, you know, adding some texture, you know, just putting my shear game to use, you know what I'm saying? And then we are gonna be doing a low fade on the sides. So jumping straight into this haircut, I'm starting off with the top. As y'all can see, I saturated, you know, the whole top of his head. I wanted to make sure all his hair was nice and wet, and as you can see, I'm making my first guideline coming forward. And every little bit of hair that I come up, I'm using that previous guideline just to make sure I trim this hair down all to that desired length. And then now what you see me doing is I'm coming the opposite way. Well, I'm coming back, but my sections are coming the opposite way, and I'm just using that guideline in the middle for the hair on each side of these guidelines. So what I did to the right side, I'm actually doing to the left side. So I started off in the middle. I went one section over to the right, and then I'm doing one section over to the left. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come back to the right, finish that side of the head, and then I'm gonna do the left side of the head. I hope that makes sense. I hope I ain't lose y'all with that. But like I said, guys, all I'm doing is I'm making sure all this hair is nice and even on top. And I do have a better video of me doing shear work. I haven't edited it yet, but I will be editing it soon, and I will be putting it out there, probably within the next week or so. So y'all make sure to hit that subscribe button if you aren't subscribed. That way you can make sure and stay tuned for that. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm actually doing some slice cutting, and all I'm doing here is basically just adding some texture to this cut, since we are going for that messy crop top type. I can't even speak right, man. That messy crop top type look. Alright, and now what I'm doing here is I have some texturizing shears, and this basically equates to me doing some point cutting. So all it's doing is it's cutting down a little bit of that hair, and it's not really cutting down the length. All it's really doing is basically just like point cutting. Now, as you can see, all I'm doing is blow drying the hair. I want to blow dry because it was a little, it was really saturated, so I needed to get a little dry. And I did decide to go ahead and do a little bit of styling, nothing too crazy, just so I can get, somewhat of a look to see what I'm working with. So all I'm doing here is just messing up the hair with my fingers, and like I said, it's just so I can give it some type of look, so I can actually see what I'm fading into. These are my absolute hitters from Gamma. I believe these are the ones that have the ceramic blade on them. I do have two pairs of these, and it's basically just the same thing, guys. Just the moving blade is a different blade, but they're basically the same thing. So anyway, all I'm doing here is I'm setting in my bald guideline. Y'all know I brought it up a little bit above the ear, and then towards the back, I'm just dropping it down in the back, cause y'all know how I do my low fades, guys. And I did bald it all the way around. However, I didn't record me doing the right side because it was like super blurry. So I just cut it out, so just so y'all didn't have to see the blurriness, because y'all gonna see the blurriness at the end of this cut. Let's go. Alright, so now I'm taking my Uno shaver and I'm balding all this out. I'm just taking all this down the skin, and I treat this shaver the same way I would any other shaver, guys. The closer I get to that line, that initial bald guideline, I start to flick out and I relieve some of that pressure. See, and this is the good thing about these Uno shavers, guys. I said it before, they work really good on low fades, especially when it comes to getting right above that ear area, and they work really well on kids, so I just really like using it. Alright, so now what I'm doing is I'm actually debulking the sides. I got my number 4 guard on my clipper. These are my ergos. And I'm coming up to about that parietal ridge area, and as y'all can see, I'm floating out. He did have some bed head here, so it was, it was kind of hard to fade it in, but for the most part, we still made it work. I really had to work my magic on this one, but y'all gonna see what I'm talking about. He's got a little bit of hair going everywhere, but I feel we brought it together, and that happens sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes we just gotta work around it and make it look good. Here I am going in with my number 6 guard, and it's really rare that I use anything bigger than a 4, but I just felt that it was needed to basically just to debulk these sides, just so I can, you know, have a better look of what I was fading into and a more level playing field. So now I'm going in with my clipper with the lever open. I'm setting in my next guideline, and I'm only going up about 1/2 inch or so, maybe 3/4 of an inch, and I'm still following that same shape. You know, you want to make sure you follow that same shape. That way you give that low fade, you know, that low fade type style and that low fade shape that I'm trying to achieve. So once this guideline is set in, y'all know how I do it, guys. I'm gonna start to fade down. So I'm gonna close my clipper halfway. I'm gonna come halfway into that section, and I will be using a slight flick out motion. And then I'm gonna close my lever notch by notch and come down little by little. And then basically when my clipper is all the way closed, I should be attacking that bottom line.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
Now I'm going in with my number 1 guard. Lever is open, and I'm doing the same exact thing, guys. I'm following that same shape, and I'm coming up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch using that slight flick out motion. And I'm doing the same thing here. The only difference is I'm not going to close my lever halfway. I'm starting with it all the way open, and then I'm going to close my lever all the way and attack that bottom line. And then if there's any discrepancies you know, in the middle of this section, then I'll go back and adjust my lever if I feel that it's needed. Here is my 1.5 guard. Lever is open. Following that same shape, doing the same exact thing, coming up about 1/2 inch to 3/4 of an inch. And as y'all can see, I'm using, you know, a little more of a flick out motion. That's just because I really don't want to come too high with this fade, and because I want to make sure it's easier for me to fade this, you know, fade this 1.5 into the rest of the haircut. And the same thing, guys, I'm starting with the open, and then I'm gonna adjust my lever close and attack the bottom of that guideline. So as y'all can see here, I'm going in with my number 2. I want to say my lever is open, but I'm not 100% sure. It should be, you know what I'm saying? So let's just say it is. You know, I'm coming up another section using a flick out motion, and then I'm going to close my lever and attack the bottom of that guideline. And if it's not open, I really can't tell from that angle. But if it's not open, I'm just making sure that I'm using more of a scooping, floating. Yeah, it was open. So yeah, so I said it right. So now that it's closed, I'm attacking the bottom of that section, and I'm still flicking out, you know what I'm saying? I want to make sure that this haircut just flows together nicely. Now I'm going in with my number 3 guard. Same thing, guys. Yeah, my lever got to be open, right? I'm trying to pay attention to what I'm doing. I recorded this haircut last week, so I believe my lever is open. I can't 100% tell, but let's just say it is, and I'm doing the same thing. I'm fading into that number 4 that I originally debulked the sides with, and then I'm gonna close my lever closed. I'm gonna adjust my lever closed if it's needed to get out some of these dark areas. And I know, and these aren't my completed steps. You know, I like to go through my steps first, and then I go back and detail it later on. So now what I'm doing is I'm gonna start detailing it a little bit. So I did see that I needed to do some work with my number 2 guard, so I put my number 2 back on there, and I'm gonna do some lever play if needed. You know, just attack these dark areas that I see that I think this number 2 guard will take away these dark spots, you know what I'm saying, and just make it all come together. And now I'm going in with my number 1 guard. So I'm just working my way back down. So basically what I did was I worked my way up, and now I'm working my way down, basically just retracing my steps to detail, and then I'm gonna put in the line for his lineup, and then if it's still needed, I'll come back and detail some more. And that's just what I do, guys. And for me, like I said, it works. This type of this style of cutting isn't for everybody. These steps aren't gonna be for everybody, and that's perfectly cool. I feel that we need to do what we need to do to give our clients the best product that we can possibly give. And for me, I feel that this way works the best for me. So I just do it, and hey, my clients like it, so I'm gonna continue to do it until I find something else that works for me. But y'all know how the saying goes, guys. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I know I do try different things every now and then, but for the most part, you know, these steps work for me. But anyways, that's enough time about that. Going back into this cut, as you can see, I'm using my 116 guard, and if you were paying attention, I used my 1.5 guard, then my number 1 guard, and now I'm back down to my 116 guard that I didn't originally use, but I'm using now to detail and to clean up some dark spots. And for the most part, I feel that this side of the haircut's coming together. You know, there are some small discrepancies in the fade area, but I'm gonna go back and touch those up anyways, so it ain't even no big deal. So now I'm going in with my liners, and all I'm doing is lining them up. I want to make sure I'm combing that hair down, because he does comb that, that front part down. So I got to keep combing it down. That way I make sure it stays the way it's supposed to stay when I'm lining it up. We did have a little discrepancy in the edge up, so as you see, I'm combing his hair a lot. I'm trying to figure out exactly where I'm going to put that vertical bar, if I'm going to push it back or not. And I did push it back slightly, and I felt it was needed, because if I didn't, it wouldn't have looked like he had a vertical bar. It would have been like almost straight from the front line into the C cup. So I had to push it back a little bit just to make sure we had that vertical bar in there. Now I'm going back, and after my eyes done rested, I didn't look at the fade too much. I was looking at the lineup, so my eyes are nice and rested. So now I'm going back into this haircut, and I'm detailing these dark areas, just attacking any discrepancies that I see, trying to erase all these dark spots, trying to get this part of the fade as blurry as I can possibly get it. And if you can see towards the top of this fade, where right above the parietal ridge area, there's a little bit of bulk right there, and see, this is what I'm doing now. I'm going over that with my blending shears, and all I'm doing is blending that in. However, I'm not gonna I'm not gonna spend too much time or try to blend it in too much, because I know we're gonna do that messy crop top look on top. So it doesn't have to be 100% like super faded, because he likes that messy look, and he likes for some parts to come over anyway. So if I completely fade that up, he won't have those parts that come over. Alright guys, so moving on to the opposite side of this haircut, we're going to be doing the same exact thing. So I'm starting off with my number 4 guard, debulking this area, and like I said, we're just going to be doing the same thing. And so I'm going to go ahead and shut up. But before I shut up, I do want y'all to know I don't know why I said I want y'all to know, but I want y'all to, damn, I forgot what I want to say. Oh yeah. If y'all like any of these beats y'all hearing right now, y'all make sure to go subscribe to my boy Tito Beats channel. That's Tito Beats Productions. Follow him on Instagram. It's at Tito_Beats. Also, if y'all like any of these tools y'all seen me using, y'all can head straight to that Gamma website, and y'all can cop these tools, and you can actually use my discount code TANK10, and you'll save yourself a little bit of money. Also guys, let me know what y'all think about this haircut so far. It's something a little different. I showed off some of my shear work. It's a little different than what y'all normally see on my channel. So y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut so far. Make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're not subscribed, make sure to subscribe one time for your boy. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and shut up and let y'all watch me do what I do.
Damn it, Tito. Another one?
Alright, so now all we doing here, guys, is we just making sure this lineup is nice and straight all the way through. I did use a little bit of enhancements on his vertical bars in his C cup, and I did hit this with the razor. However, I didn't record it. He was trying to get out the chair. He was getting a little restless of being in my chair, so I didn't record that, guys. I tried to hurry up and get him out of the chair, but y'all know how I do, guys. Y'all done see me do that you know, a bunch of times. So if you're really trying to watch me do that, y'all just click back to one of my older videos and y'all can watch that. But for the most part, all I'm doing now is I'm going to be detailing this cut, and y'all also aren't going to see me fading in the back of this haircut. And like I said, guys, that was just because my client was trying to get out the chair. Like I said, I think he was just getting restless, you know what I'm saying? Like he was saying that his legs were falling asleep, and I don't feel like I took a long time. I mean, yeah, I took my 30-45 minutes, but for whatever reason, he was just trying to get out the chair, so I didn't record them parts. But y'all know what it is, man. I appreciate y'all for watching YouTube. Y'all let me know what y'all think about this cut in the comments, guys. If y'all like this haircut, please make sure to smash that like button. Also, if you're new to my channel, make sure and subscribe one time for your boy. I still got some more material coming, guys. Y'all know I've been on my grind. I've been dropping these videos. So y'all let me know what y'all think about all these haircut tutorials. I appreciate y'all, YouTube. Until next time, let's go.